Here I am. What's up, Tommy V? Yes, that's who I spoke to today. I was trying to finish eating, but someone said, "Where's John?" Blue Steel. Snow rules. No, it doesn't. South Bama Gump. I'm right here, dude. Parasites. Parasites. Yeah. Press on. Amble forward. What's up, Buzz? Constitutional Freedom Fighter. What's up? Ali One. What's up? What's up? Dale. What's up? Howard County Observer. What's up? A van down by the river. I'm your stud. You must really live in a van down by the river. I'm eating spam salad. That's right. Took a can of spam. It's groceries. We're out of groceries. Till tomorrow. I didn't feel like going today. Took a can of spam, emptied it out, sliced it, diced it in little cubes, put it in the air fryer until they become nice and crispy. And then I throw them in some lettuce. So I could be a stud for the guy who lives in a van down by the river. Bill Smith, what's up? This is a public service. What's up, Foshin? How are you? Some random dude. What's up, man? I feel like I know you. Chewing the cud. Dub Kampala Harris. Spam salad. That's right. What's up, sauerkraut? How are you? From Canada. Tri-State. Wicked Wimbley. Random Jeff. What's up, bro? When I see Random Jeff, I always think it's NC Tyrant Hunter for some reason. My friend from childhood, thank you. Always with the insult comedy, thank you. These eyebrows are huge. I just shaved them down. I should let them grow out for a year just to scare the living hell out of you people. Brandon, Jethro Miller, George Daly, Mr. Denicola, Mr. John Denicola. Lunch and meat, yeah. That's not even that. It's not even that. What do you call it? Oh, our stud. Okay. What's good for you, bro? Can I eat anything without you saying something, Joel? That's it. Comment off the screen. Get some of that. Our guy 936. Hi, Brandon. Potion, Florida Strong. Potion. Spam filters. The Lost Boys, press harder. Yeah. George, yeah. This is kind of good. Nice and salty. Goes good with the lettuce and the Greek dressing. Of course, I'm going to want to. You're sending me a package? Oh, thank you, man. Make sure it's not ticking. What the hell's a Thunderbird? I'm going to smoke after this, so it's going to be a few minutes. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. All right, before I go smoke, do any of you know who Carlos Miller is? If you don't, you should. Carlos Miller is a journalist. He's a journalist. I went to school for journalism, and he got falsely arrested, I think, in 2007. So, happy dance. You got me confused with somebody else. Hi, Gio. I saw you on that idiot's channel today. He did a good job, but he's still an idiot. Why haven't they joined my channel? I don't know, man. Money ain't flowing for everybody, dude. If you guys like to join, please do. So I spoke to Carlos Miller today. I asked him to come to Audipalooza. He really likes the idea of coming and is possibly going to come. I think he's going to come. If you want to meet one of the OGs of auditing, Carlos Miller, he started PINAC News. If you ever heard Jeff Gray say photography is not a crime in any of his videos, he's saying the acronym PINAC, PINAC. Photography is not a crime. So when he got arrested one time, he started PINAC, and this was like, he told me the whole story on the phone, but either I can have him on for a live stream, or if you want to hear his whole story, I told him he can have time at Audipalooza to tell his story. And yeah, so this is what I'm going to cover next, one of his stories. And I'll be right back. Give me like 3 minutes. I know. Quit smoking. I know. You're fat. I know. Give me like 3 minutes, man. And I'll be black, okay? And you stay white here. You guys hear of you guys hear any auditor drama going down at all? I haven't heard anything. Just wondering. Be right back. I'll get out of my way. Oh, a bunch of people left. I'm sorry, guys. I ain't gonna wait for this fat bee. I gotta wait for this fat bee to go suck on a cigarette. It's not what I'm gonna do. So I spoke to Carlos Miller today. Carlos Miller is the founder of Photography's Not a Crime, PINAC. He also got Philip Turner started, the Batusai, Turner versus Driver. The Batusai worked for PINAC. Also, Jeff the Goat Gray, Honor Your Oath, was also a PINAC reporter, and it was a news outfit. And he told me that he's got a lot of trauma / regret / because even though he was doing the right thing and he was exposing the right people and doing it the right way, the news media wouldn't pick it up. When he got arrested and was thrown down the stairs, the media wouldn't pick that up. Anyway, also, Lawrence Accountability and the dreaded Rabble Rouser are doing a live. So as soon as you're done watching this live, go watch their live, okay? And this is an article that Carlos Miller wrote March 13th, 2024. This is a great article. This is about a gentleman named McDonough. And McDonough versus Rundle is case law, I believe. And let's read it. Doc Justice wages free speech battle royale against Homestead. Homestead is a city in Florida. This free speech activist says his decade-long legal showdown with South Florida cops has subjected him to arrests, doxing, and a jailhouse backdoor search. Books could be written about this battle, but we've boiled it down to a few thousand words. So this guy on the right here is Rundle. James Eric McDonough. I'm sorry. It's McDonough. Excuse me. James Eric McDonough facing off with Homestead police officer Garland Wright on the night he was kicked out of Homestead City Hall, July 27, 2016. Oh, you can listen to the article? Oh.
This is an automatic reading of the article. Doc Justice wages free speech battle royale against Homestead.
I think I should read it. I have a nicer voice, right? Right. Thank you, Blue Steel. On July 27, 2016, James Eric McDonough stood at the podium before the Homestead City Council and accused the local police department of falsifying reports, destroying public records. The police accountability activist further demanded the city implement a body camera program, which the Homestead Police Department had been reluctant to do at the time. Thanks, brother. Appreciate that. McDonough, who has a doctorate in organic thermochemistry and goes by Doc Justice online, then directed his comments towards then City Councilman Elvis Maldonado. Quote, the last point I would like to hit off with, Mr. Maldonado, I'd appreciate if you got something to say to me, you come say it to my face. You don't have to talk about me behind my back in public and talk to other people, unquote, said McDonough. That was when Homestead police officer Garland Wright ordered McDonough out of the Homestead City Hall, a 3-story, 84,000 square foot building that had been completed 2 months earlier at a cost of $26.5 million, which McDonough and his friends referred to as the Taj Mahal because of its monstrous size and outmoded architecture. Outmoded. I've never heard that word in my life. Outmoded.
Here's the definition of outmoded: old-fashioned.
Oh, okay. Old-fashioned architecture. You journalists, man. You real journalists. You have all the words. McDonough declared, I'm going to sue your dumb ass, a pledge he would eventually keep. The encounter marked the start of yet another chapter in a more than a decade-long legal crusade that McDonough has pursued against Homestead law enforcement and city officials. Along the way, he's lodged allegations of unlawful arrests, retaliatory harassment, and unwarranted backdoor cavity search. After getting booted from City Hall, McDonough returned the following month to attend council meeting, but as McDonough recalls it, he barely made it through the door when Wright ordered him off premises, telling him he was banned from City Hall. The officer suggested McDonough write some kind of letter to regain access, never explaining what the document must say or to whom it should be addressed. He complied with Wright's order, but as he was walking back to his car, he turned to the officer and flipped him off with his middle finger, telling him, "I'm leaving, buddy, bye-bye." Within seconds, McDonough was arrested on charges of trespassing and disorderly conduct, the latter of which is a catch-all charge frequently used by police to arrest activists exercising their First Amendment rights, according to the ACLU. In their report, the cops accused McDonough of grabbing his genitals as he flipped off the cop, to the horror of bystanders, an allegation he denies and was not supported by video camera evidence. Years deep into McDonough's lawsuit over the fracas, a federal appeals court in January ruled that police had no right to arrest McDonough for flipping the cops off, regardless of whether he grabbed his groin while doing it or not. The three-judge panel also ruled that the city could not permanently ban him from attending city council meetings over his past confrontation. The victory was short-lived, however. On February 29th, the appeals court vacated the decision and agreed to rehear the case with full panel of judges after the city filed a petition arguing its trespass order against McDonough was valid. The city's petition did not challenge the ruling that McDonough's arrest was unconstitutional. For McDonough, it was a familiar development. Many of his tussles with the city of Homestead have taken long, labyrinthine paths through court, replete with thousands of pages of filings and years of legal headbutting over constitutional case law. The activist has been relentless in his opposition to Homestead police practices in the past 12 years, engaging in countless administrative and courtroom skirmishes over public records requests, civil rights claims, and governmental transparency. While some Homestead city staffers have at one point or another deemed him a nuisance and possibly the bane of their existence, McDonough has a reputation in the First Amendment activist community as a stalwart litigator for free speech rights. McDonough's attorney, Alan Greenstein, says his client's pending appellate case with the city of Homestead has major implications in the arena of free speech at government meetings. This precedent, because I am unaware of any case in the 11th Circuit where a person was banned from speaking at a council meeting based on behavior at a previous meeting. Greenstein, a criminal civil rights attorney and professor of the University of Miami, tells the New Times. The birth of Doc Justice, a Virginia native who attended the University of Miami, McDonough became a police accountability activist in 2012 following a confrontation with a Homestead cop who lived down the street from him. As tension rose between McDonough and local police, he was arrested various times on charges that never stood up in court, including felony stalking and witness tampering. He has repeatedly filed civil rights lawsuits, but twice the Southern District of Florida, based in Miami, threw out his complaints, leading to successful appeals. I'm not the guy who takes threats against my rights from the government officials sitting down, he tells the New Times. McDonough says it all started October 29, 2012, 5 days after Homestead police officer Alejandro Murguido, his neighbor, allegedly ran him off the road in his patrol car, causing him to almost crash into an oncoming vehicle. McDonough approached Murguido, who was standing in his front yard with his gardener, and asked him to slow down for the safety of the children in the neighborhood, including his 3 children. But Murguido responded by calling the police on him, resulting in a dozen officers from Homestead and Miami-Dade police departments detaining him for 90 minutes and pledging to arrest him for trespass if he walked on Murguido's block again. The cops claim McDonough had acted in a threatening manner. Thanks so much, Buzz. I appreciate that. McDonough contacted Internal Affairs Division of the Homestead Police Department to file a complaint against Murguido, after which point Murguido had him arrested on felony stalking charges, which were dismissed in court, McDonough says. The more the police tried to shut him up, the more he continued speaking up, criticizing cops in an online forum called Leo Affairs, frequented by police, where he began posting under the moniker Doc Justice. As McDonough began investigating Murguido through public records request, he learned then 66-year-old officer had a long history of disciplinary action against him at other police departments, including the Hialeah Police Department. State Attorney eyes McDonough. In January 2014, McDonough filed another internal affairs complaint against Merguido, accusing him of retaliating against him for his initial complaints. A month later, Chief Alexander Roll invited McDonough to his office for a meeting about his allegations against Merguido. The meeting on February 7, 2014 was attended by McDonough, Roll, a Homestead detective, as well as a friend of McDonough. During the meeting, McDonough began recording on his phone, which he placed on the chief's desk in open view. The recording showed that McDonough handed the chief documents pertaining to Merguido's history of alleged misconduct at the Hialeah Police Department. However, when McDonough later made a public records request to Homestead for files pertaining to Merguido, those documents were not included. When McDonough persisted in asking why documents were missing, Chief Roll claimed he never received them. McDonough, in turn, posted a clip from the meeting on his YouTube channel, prompting Miami-Dade State Attorney Catherine Fernandez Rundle to send him a letter threatening to have him arrested under the state's wiretapping law if he continued to record police inside a police department without their consent. The state attorney, who has been criticized for taking a light-handed approach to prosecuting police officers, claimed that Roll had an expectation of privacy inside his office. McDonough sued over the state's attorney threat, and although the district court sided with Fernandez Rundle, McDonough prevailed on appeal. The 11th Circuit ruled that Roll did not have an expectation of privacy in the meeting because it not only pertained to government business, but was also attended by another Homestead police officer as well as a friend of McDonough. The facts that all attendees of the meeting were either public employees acting in furtherance of their public duties or members of the public discussing a matter of public interest undermines any objective expectation of privacy, the 2017 ruling stated. With this ruling, we can now record police officers even in a closed-door meeting because as public officials, they have no expectation of privacy in the performance of their duties, McDonough says. My legal victories show that the average citizen with facts and law on their side can't fight City Hall if they are persistent. Whew. The coup de grace, one of McDonough's most ambitious legal campaigns, came in the form of a lawsuit filed in 2016, refiled in 2017 against Homestead, Miami-Dade County, and Monroe County police forces and more than 30 officers. McDonough claimed cops had been harassing, doxing, and threatening him and his wife ever since 2012 confrontation with Merguido. In the lawsuit, the activist claimed Miami-Dade police once arrested him at his home, threw him into the back of a police car, and subjected him to what police call a rough ride, or a nickel ride, in which a cop slams the brakes and jerks the cruiser around while a detainee bounces around the vehicle. Upon his arrival at Miami-Dade jail after the 2013 arrest, McDonough alleges he was forced to strip naked, bend over, and manually spread his buttocks and cough while a guard was observing. This was a room with an open door while people were walking past and observed him in this manner, the lawsuit alleged. McDonough claims that at an early stage of this dispute with Homestead police, he began suffering panic attacks from the resulting stress. When he visited an urgent care clinic, the doctor wrote him off as delusional and called the source of his swelling angst the Homestead police and called the source of his swelling angst. The Homestead police, who upon arrival made threats to commit him to a mental institution. The civil case ultimately dismissed in federal court, with the presiding judge classifying it as a shotgun pleading, one that lacks enough clarity to allow defendants to mount a coherent defense. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office had argued that fused, vague, ambiguous allegations are common throughout the instant complaint and leave defendants to guess at precisely what the plaintiffs are alleging. It certainly is not the court's responsibility to attempt to discern potential causes of action from hodgepodge of allegations haphazardly strewn together, U.S. Judge Robert Scola wrote. Scola noted that the deadline to file some of the claims the lawsuit had passed. What's next for McDonough? 8 years after the arrest for trying to attend a 2016 Homestead City Hall meeting, McDonough is scheduled to argue his case before an extended panel of appellate judges for the 11th Circuit, the highest federal court in the Southeast United States. The circuit has majority of conservative judges, which could play in his favor in terms of strict adherence to the First Amendment principle. U.S. Circuit Court Judge Britt Grant, who penned the now vacated ruling in McDonough's favor in January, is known for rulings upholding free speech rights. Grant backed McDonough's right to attend Homestead Council meetings in spite of officials' perception that he'll be disruptive to city business. A central issue in the case is whether city council meetings are considered limited public forums or designated public forums, a distinction that will influence how much leeway cities have in blocking controversial speakers like McDonough from showing up. Though Grant denied Wright and another Homestead policeman qualified immunity, a legal protection that shields cops from liability on the job, they will have a chance to re-argue their case in appeals court rehearing. Scheduled to submit any briefs by April 16th, McDonough is ready to make his free speech argument once more. They might still agree with me. They might change their minds on the First Amendment trespass issue, he says. And I think that's it. This was written by OG Carlos Miller, one of the founders of Auditing, period, point blank. I tell you where to subscribe. He works for some paper in Atlanta right now. And yeah, tomorrow night, guys, Rumble, uncensored, unfiltered, me and OG Patriot. I don't know what we're going to cover. Maybe you can give us some ideas. Also, go watch Dreaded Rabble Rouser and Lawrence Accountability. They're doing a live right now. Go there after this live. Carolina. Hi, Carolina. What's up, Shaggy Hippie? How are you? Friends in Code. Auditing Mabden. What about me, bro? You don't want to do a live with me? I'm not good enough just because Caroline's sexy and I'm not? Bow. Bow's here? Clash with Bow? Bow, if you're here, dude, come to Auditapalooza, bro. So Carlos Miller's probably coming to Auditapalooza. Jeff Gray, Michael Hoffman. Lots of people are coming. There's going to be lots of food. There's going to be lots of drinks. There's going to be lots of entertainment. There's going to be lots of alpha males in one place. Oh, don't mess with Bow, dude. Bow's a righteous guy from what I got to meet him a few years back. He was a nice guy. What's up on the SJVT DirectE story? It sounds like they became friends and then they had a falling out. That's what it sounds like to me. Keith, I see that white cat. Good to see you. Carolina Fort Worth is also going to be at Auditapalooza. Shaggy Hippie's going to be in town on the 16th. I'm going to be there on the 15th. Is there going to be a stripper pole? Dude, you need to get down here before you start worrying about stripper poles. Did you find yourself someone to ride with? Nightcap 8. Shiny, give up on anything. There's always something to stick around for. Central Florida Police Accountability says there's going to be a stripper pole there. Sounds like everyone has had a falling out with SJVT, says constitutional freedom fighter. Whatever, man. That drama, let them. Auditapalooza is Saturday, October 19th in Pensacola, Florida. If you haven't paid yet, you need to pay. There's not that many tickets left. Oh, you may be flying, huh, Frank? I didn't know you could fly. Hi, Claudette. Magru sounds like an episode of Gossip Girls to me. I came for some reality. Stripper pole first, then we get a ticket. All right, Dub Wubs, you guys want a stripper pole, man? I'll find a piece of rebar somewhere and hammer it into the ground. I don't have a problem with either of them either. I don't want problems with other auditors. That's right. Auditapalooza is a drama-free zone. That's right. It's a day of solidarity and celebration and a chance for subscribers to meet the people that they subscribe to. They want to meet you. You're famous. People come up to me and they act like they're seeing a celebrity. I'm like, bro, chill. Let's take a selfie. Give me a hug. Love you. Appreciate everything you do. Because if there's the people in here, 145 of you, if it wasn't for you, there'd be no me. By the way, my last 5 videos have either been privacy strike, demonetized. I don't know what I'm doing. If this one gets demonetized, I'm going to think someone's doing something behind the scenes because it doesn't get any more milquetoast than this one. All I did was read an article. I want auditors to come together and unite, says Magru. I want the same thing. Yeah, no, you got to email me. If you want a ticket to Auditapalooza, you got to email me, JohnFilax@gmail.com. There you go. Thanks, Brandon. I believe the Saint I don't care about their beef, honestly. Bad enough trolls printed all of my traffic tickets. Whoa. Like I was shaking my boots and so embarrassed by that. Not copyrighted article. I don't know, man. Yeah. Not all auditors like each other. Dude, we're all a bunch of alphas and some of us are wannabe alphas, so can we do a live, brother? Yeah, why not? Of course we can. Auditing Mabden. Mabden? Where's Mabden? Mabton. La rata. What's that mean? The rat? Yeah, I agree. They need to chill out. Squash it. Stop talking about each other. Provide a link to the article. That's a good idea. He also has a book. So there's a link to the article, guys. Who did I talk to? Carlos Miller. This guy wrote this article. This is the Carlos Miller right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. There he is right there. He started PINAC, which is Photography is Not a Crime. And he helped launch Philip Turner, the Batusai, and Jeff Gray, and Michael Hoffman too, I believe. And then he wrote this article that I just read. So this article, oh, I think I gave you the wrong link. My bad. My bad. Can you clone my hair? Please do. I wish. You should have seen my hair when I was younger, man. It was so lush, like shag carpeting. I'd like to meet High Desert Community, but I have no idea how to get a hold of him. All right, everybody. I haven't eaten in minutes, so I tried vaping. Vaping sucks. The secret to quit smoking is quit smoking. I've done it several times. All right, everybody. Go check out Dreaded Rabble Rouser and Lawrence Accountability doing their live. And I appreciate you guys coming. And yeah, anybody live in Pasco County and you want to meet us tomorrow morning in a certain place at a certain time, email me. Yeah, we don't know about vape. All right, Johnny Bravo. All right, great dude. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. You're the best. I'm fat. Here we are. Have a good day. Gio's going to be there too, buddy. I there, bro. Samson uses nicotine patches, but over each eye. You had nicotine patch over each eye and you can't find your cigarettes. All right, that's funny.